grab a tea, grab a cup of coffee, grab a cozy warm drink because this is probably going to be a very chatty video. Hi, hello, welcome. Happy February. Gosh, January felt very slow and very fast at the same time. I have a bit of whiplash, but we'll get into that. How are you? If you've never seen me before, I'm KJ. I'm an aspiring fantasy author, and I'm currently working on a cozy fantasy, which you can find the playlist down below if you want to see content like that one. Today, however, is a bit different because I'm doing a little January wrap up of my goals and how the month went, plus what I plan on to do in February. And I'm aware I'm a week into February, but that's fine. Let me know, how did your month go? Did you find January to be a drag? Let me know if you feel kind of attacked. I do. Start with writing, shall we? I'm gonna start with the one that I didn't achieve. I didn't send any more queries to my book for my book, The Healer Witch, which I'm okay with. I decided not to. The Healer Witch is the first book that I've written. It's the first book that I ever tried to write when I was 16 years old. And then I decided for some reason that writing wasn't for me and that my ideas were not good enough or interesting enough and that my writing was not good enough. And then I didn't write creatively for like 10 years until 2024. And The Healer Witch is the first book that I wrote. It's the first book that I've queried. It has a really, really special place in my heart. However, for me to do it justice, I don't think it can be my debut. And just thinking of the industry and me as a debut author, I don't want The Healer Witch to be a one book deal. For me to do justice to that story and those characters, it needs to be more than one book. And as a debut author, the chances of that are very, very low. You have to be a unicorn, and I'm definitely not a unicorn. I'm just a normal person trying to share my work and my writing and connect with people. And I think Project Clouds, which is the cozy fantasy I'm working on, works so much better as a debut. It's a standalone. The world is big enough that if a publishing house wanted more books, I can explore that. But The Healer Witch doesn't really work as just one book. And it's also a very ambitious project that I myself as a writer and my skills, I'm not sure if I can pull it off this early on in my career. So I think the wise thing, as much as it pains me, I have cried so much about this, I have journaled so much about this, I have been very frustrated with myself for not noticing that earlier. However, I think it's for the best. So I'm just focusing my whole energy into Project Clouds. That's the code name, by the way. The real name, I'm keeping it quiet because I feel like I'm gonna jinx myself. I think it just works better as a debut, I think. I might be wrong. The thing is, it can also just die on submission, and I am so emotionally attached to The Healer Witch that, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just my imposter syndrome. Maybe I'm just scared of what would happen. But I gave it a chance. I learned a lot about querying and the industry, and I was able to connect with so many people. And I am so, so grateful for that book. But focusing on Project Clouds. Talking about Project Clouds, my goal was to reach 40,000 words on draft 2 in January. I actually reached 50,000 words on Monday. Monday was the 2nd of February, but I calculated it And I wrote 15,134 words in January, which is amazing if I say so myself. I don't really know how I did that because my mental health and my routines and everything has been, yeah. 2025 ended and 2026 started on a very stressful note, which brings me to my life update. I am very nervous to talk about this, but I don't know why, honestly. I will preface this section by saying that I wish nothing but the best to the people involved. And the situation is very unfortunate. The timing really sucks. I have had merry a breakdown about it since I got the news, and I've been very angry and very resentful, and at the same time, very hopeful and just very strong. And I'm very proud of myself because of the way I've handled the whole thing. But long story short, I was on my annual leave that I had been planning for months. I took 3 weeks off for Christmas because my mom was coming from Spain to visit, and my brother was staying over as well, and it was going to be the best Christmas ever. However, my boss, a week before Christmas, gave us the news that she decided to close the business and that it was looking like we would all be made redundant by mid-January. So, as you can imagine, very unexpected, very sudden. I went into panic mode and I literally started job hunting the next day. I went complete manic. However, it's really served me. I to show you how nuts I went. I applied to 120 jobs in 3 weeks and have already secured a job that I will be starting later in the month, which is very exciting. But I'm very scared about it as well because it's a huge change that I was not anticipating. I do find that I don't deal well with the period in between a change happens, like that lull and that limbo when you're just waiting for the thing to happen. I just I don't deal with that well. Yeah. So obviously, I was job hunting. I was with family during Christmas, trying to enjoy myself, but having a horrible time. I felt like I was on a mission and that I couldn't do anything else other than job hunt until I had a job. And this whole thing, even though it's very positive that I have a job secured, it has brought up so many things that I thought I had dealt with in therapy years ago. And it is very obvious that I haven't. Like, yeah, there's the imposter syndrome, but then there's also the whole I don't deserve to do fun things because I'm not being productive because I don't have a job kind of thought process. And I thought I had dealt with that when I first started therapy. Like the first year was very focused on that and on letting myself enjoy things that weren't seen as productive or that didn't bring me any sort of like monetary flow. I don't know what to call it. And I thought I had dealt with all that. And he's brought up a lot of things. So that also made me look back into shadow work. I have done therapy for many years. I've journaled for many, many years. I've gratitude journaled for many years. I've do I've been doing meditations for many years. Except for shadow work, it's always been very intimidating. I decided to do one shadow work journal prompt a week. So I've chosen 52, and I've been using a random number generator on Google to choose which one I'm doing that week. But yes, I have been doing that every week, and honestly, I've been really enjoying it. I didn't think I would. I thought it was going to be quite triggering, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's my update on that one. I also had the goal to do 3 runs a week during January. However, between the weather, the stress of job hunting, and then some flare ups, some health stuff, I just haven't. I think at most I've gone on 1 run a week. It's just not been a good month for fitness. However, I do have a plan for February, especially when I start the new job. The new job is gonna be a huge adjustment. The old job has been fully remote the whole time that I've been there, and I've been at that job for 3.5 years. And the new one is in an office 5 days a week. So even though I'm nervous about it, I am also quite excited because I have been feeling very isolated. I think, even though it's going to be an adjustment, going to an office and having that separation of life and work and having more interactions and feeling more integrated into a team is actually really going to help me. And obviously, if I don't like it, all of these decisions are temporary, they're not the end of the line. I think having to go somewhere is also really going to help me with my discipline and be more intentional with my time. Now, I could be just trying to gaslight myself, but I don't know. I'm feeling very positive about it. I am very nervous because it's a completely different industry, but I don't know. I really like the company. They also are having great impact on the place that I live in. I don't know, I feel like it's gonna be a really, really good change. And I am quite excited about it. I am very nervous about how it's gonna affect my writing and my routine, but I have a plan. I will take you along, of course. That is also another reason why I'm changing my upload days to be on Sundays, because obviously I'm gonna be in an office on Fridays, and I normally post Friday at 3 p.m. and I'm just not gonna be able to like monitor it or share it on social media or anything like that, just in case, like, I don't know, something happens with the upload that it doesn't go well. There's an error or something. I don't know. I think just giving myself a Sunday upload schedule is gonna work better. It also gives me the Saturday to edit if I couldn't do it during the week. So I'm gonna try that. So for January, my personal curriculum was to look into Egyptian mythology. I have had so much fun. My plan was to read some books on it, but instead I watched some documentaries because I was just not in a reading mood at all. I just didn't have space for it in my head, which I know it seems very silly, but yeah, I don't know. I just decided to watch some documentaries. I watched a cat worship video, and it was so interesting, and also here on YouTube. So I'm gonna link that one below because I thought it was fascinating to see how the cat worship in ancient Egypt changed with the times. And I quite like the presenter. I don't know. I think he's quite nice and engaging. Anyway, I'll link that below. I also learned something that I am so glad no one taught me when I was a child, because what on earth? Let me just say, Horace and his letters. Hello, if you know what I'm talking about, I am so sorry. And if you don't, search it, because I don't want to suffer alone. I just don't think it's appropriate for YouTube. Now, for February, my favorite month, I am biased because it's my birthday month. I'm very excited because the days are getting longer. Inbook was a few days ago, and it's gonna be a weird month because obviously I'm starting the new job and I'm gonna have to get used to the routine and all that. But let's start with writing goals. I have here reach 60k. However, I reached 50k on Monday. And I'm wondering whether I can reach 70. Am I being delusional? Probably, especially with the starting the new job in a couple weeks, but let me think about it 1 second. So I am trying to get this draft ready for RevPit in March. And the window submission for that is the 12th of March to the 16th. And I want to keep this draft between around 85k, I think. Okay, let's say the goal is to reach 60,000 words, and a secondary goal will be to reach 70,000 goals if I can. But we're not gonna be mad if that doesn't happen. I also want to write the first draft of the query letter because I would like to share it with some of my writing friends to see if I can get some feedback on it, because for RevPid you have to send a query letter with your manuscript. Those are going to be my main focus. Obviously, posting every week, which I've been really well, It's been 3 months now. Oh, I forgot to say, my 2-year anniversary of writing was on the 15th of January, and I can't believe that time has passed so quickly. But anyway, I do want to post every week. I am gonna try to pre-film some things just for when I start the job, that I'm not pressuring myself or stressed about like having to film something last minute, because I don't know, I just want to make it easy for myself. For my personal curriculum, this month is Greek and Roman mythology. In particular, I want to see how they both were inspired by Egypt, and how the Romans were inspired by the Greeks as well. And I want to see the overlaps and stuff. I am going to be reading Parallel Lives by Plutarch, and obviously I'll watch some documentaries and stuff. In other reading news, I'm still reading Bewitched. I am halfway through and I'm really liking it. I'm liking it now a lot better. Belle, the main character, was driving me nuts in the beginning a little bit because I just didn't like her as a character very much, and I didn't understand why. And then the other day I had the epiphany that I didn't like her because she reminds me of a younger version of myself, and the version of myself that I was before 2024, that continuously stopped myself from going after what I wanted. and she was driving me nuts because I was seeing myself in her, and I'm just like, just go for it. Stop with the imposter syndrome. Like, can we just do something? Like, it's okay to want things for yourself. So I had that epiphany. So now I'm enjoying it a lot more because I realized, I'm like, oh no, this could have been me if I was in her situation. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm still on the hunt for comps for my cozy fantasy. Now, for life, for my life goals, obviously, start a new job, and that's gonna be very fun. And I did my in-book celebrations already, so I can take that off because of I don't like running in the dark. And when I start a new job, it's gonna be very difficult for me to run outside. So in the meantime, during the week, I'm gonna use our indoor bicycle instead of going on a run. And on the weekend, I will try to do one run outside. So that's my plan. I wanna do at least 3 sessions a week of either or. I also started taking vitamins in January, so I want to take those every day. I am so bad at taking any medication, vitamins. I bought myself this thing, as you can see. It's gonna be mirrored, isn't it? Sorry. Just to have it ready for each day of the week, and that way I don't have to have the bottles around, because I am the type of person that if it's out of sight, it's out of my mind. So that's been working really well. So as I mentioned, February is my birthday month. So I will be writing a letter to myself on the day, and I'll be reading last year's letter. I do this every year. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, actually. Obviously celebrating with family and friends, and I also have some other birthdays, so it's going to be a very social month, which I'm really looking forward to. That's my plan for February. I am trying to be gentle with myself and just give myself grace during this period of change. But I am very excited. I do want to update my planner because if you don't know, I am gamifying my life, and I thought updating my planner would be a fun thing to do every month. I will link in the description below and somewhere on the screen the video where I explain the system. But just as a little recap, my goals for the year, the main ones are my quests, and then I also have side quests, which are things that I would like to get done in the year, but if they don't happen, I'm okay with. And then I have my habits. My habits are the minimum that I have to do every month to go up a level. I'm gonna show you that in a second. We are leveling up because I have achieved quite a lot this month, actually. I am sorry if it is shaky. I have the stand literally in between both of my arms. This is very awkward. For this part, I would suggest you go watch the first video I did on how I'm gamifying my life, just because I go in a lot of detail and this might be a bit confusing, but this is my system. I'm using a sterling ink planner. Now I need to find, because I don't want to show you my monthly spreads or anything, just because it's very personal. I am tracking a lot of health stuff on there on my monthly spreads. Let me put, there we go, that's better. My badges of honor. Each one of these, it's a quest, is one of my main goals, and because I got a new job, I get to color one in. I think I want to do it in yellow. I am not prepared at all, am I? I think it's nice. So that's the one for the new job. Obviously it's tied to my finances. So I don't know. I decided that it was going to be the King of Pentacles. Ta-da! Yay! So that's one achieved. I have 9 more to go, which I am very excited. Obviously, the whole job situation put my financial goals on hold. And because I was ready for it to take like 6 months to a year, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do those. But I've done that, so now I can also focus on my financial goals, which I am so excited about. I'm a huge personal finance geek. I'm not gonna talk about it because I will not stop. But I will come back every month and fill this in if I've achieved any. So stay tuned, hit the notification bell, come back next month for my February wrap up to see if I achieved any more. This is my monthly. Um, these are my monthly stats. I will figure out how to cover that. I'm just tracking some health symptoms, my cycle, all of that boring things that only I care about. These are my stats for the month of January, which I will use to then fill in my character level. I give names to all of these things and in this system based on my own fantasy worlds and characters and ideas and stuff, so it might not make any sense to you. But vices, I gave myself 10 points because I didn't go on my runs. This is for physical health and things like that, so I deducted 10 points. Spirit, I gave myself 20, same for Anaya because I did really well, same for Hermit because I was very focused on my projects. I did so good in those 3 categories, honestly. For Cottage and Charisma, I also gave myself 10 for each. That's the maximum that I can get for these ones. And I did so well considering, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give myself. I was so tempted to reduce points for charisma because I didn't go to my writing group in January at all. I used to go weekly and then just live gets in the way, but I decided not to because I did go on the last Sunday and I feel really good at keeping up with family and stuff. So that's 10. Then we have the side quests. So the side quests, as I mentioned earlier, are things that I would love to happen this year, but if they don't happen, I'm okay with. I also give myself side quests on a monthly basis. So, for example, I wanted to start taking vitamins in January, so I gave myself points for that. And I got 130 points, which is so good. Each of my quests and each of the badges of honor is 50, so I need to add 50 to the total. I know my stats. I can go and fill in my character level. So I don't know if you'll be able to see, but this planner, the notes pages, everything is actually, it's a grid. So for each of these columns, I did 4 squares, so each square can be 5 points. So the total is 20, right? And then from one level to another, it's 100. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, right? So I need 100 points to go up a level. Vices was 10, right? I'm blanking on the names when I literally just said them. Physis, that was 10. Then cottage is 10. Charisma is 10. Hermit is 20. Spirit is 20. Anaya is 20. Then we have the side quests, which is 130. So let's do, this is the 100, right? For that. 10, 20, 30. And then I need 50 for the main quest. So 20, 40, 50. Okay, so I need to color in until here. Yep. Okay, there's that. Let me put this in between. Just maybe the black wasn't a good idea, but we are committing. This is just a pencil board thing that came with the planner, by the way, and I've just been using it for that. Just as I said, in bulk was on the 1st and 2nd of February, and I do celebrate the Wheel of the Year, and this is my spread for it. I am very happy. I did a little tarot spread, 3 cards, because I love having things to color in. I also made myself this. This is one of the badges. It is this one. Where is it? It's that one. And this one is for my personal curriculum. So I thought I would color in each month after I've done it to just have something along the way that I can take off. Let me get January's color. I should be very prepared, but anyway. Ooh. And oh, do I want to do the whole thing or just the, let's do the accents first and see how I like that. No, we're doing the whole thing. I just love coloring things in. It just gives me so much satisfaction. It's like when my teachers used to give me a sticker for a job well done at school. I don't know. There's just something about the reward that I just love. Anyone else? But yeah, that's it for my planner. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for being here and hearing me jap. I hope February goes really well for you, and let me know down in the comments what your plans are for this month. It is such a beautiful month, but I am biased. If no one has told you recently, I am so proud of you for showing up for yourself in whatever form you can, even if you didn't accomplish everything that you wanted to in January. February is a clean slate. Tomorrow is a clean slate. You can do it, and I'm cheering you on. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!